Hi, I'm Mike Remieres, Fitness Center Manager at Nassau. This month we celebrate American Heart Month and will visit with the American Heart Association 2022 Real Women National Spokesperson, Claudia Norman. She's an adult congenital heart defect survivor and supporter of the Go Red for Women event in March. She'll share her personal journey, provide information on risks, prevention, and heart attack symptoms that women need to be aware of. I'll also share 5 numbers you need to know to keep your heart healthy today so you can help prevent cardiovascular disease tomorrow. Let's get started. Claudia, thank you for joining me today. Please share your inspiring story.
I am Claudia Norman, and at the age of 51 in 2019, I had open heart surgery to repair a congenital heart defect. I've always been followed by a cardiologist. Probably at a very young age, at the age of 8 or 9, I was diagnosed with a heart murmur. But I lived most of my life not having any type of issue. It wasn't until in 2018, I realized that my heart was racing and that I was in full atrial fibrillation. I'd been seen by my cardiologists and always followed by them. And again, they monitored my heart most of my entire life, but with no real serious issue. But in 2018, when I was diagnosed with having atrial fibrillation, it was then that my adult cardiologist recommended that I go to a children's medical center and be seen by an adult congenital heart specialist. And that was the best thing that could have happened for me. I was seen by a team that really understood how to treat conditions like mine, and they were able to diagnose me properly. The one thing that I remember feeling in 2018 was a sigh of relief, because it was finally then that I realized that someone knew what to do with confidence, how to treat my condition. And then in 2019, I had open heart surgery. Happy to report that since then, I am happy, I'm healed, I'm healthy, and I'm whole. And one of the things that I encourage women, men, and everyone to do is to advocate for their health. During that season when I wasn't really sure what was wrong, and again, for most of my adult life, not really having any concerns with having a heart murmur, was being able to have the confidence of a facility and of a provider that knew what to do, how to treat it. And so I advocate for women to try to find that solution. The other thing I do is I realize that heart disease is the #1 killer for women. And so you have to know yourself, you have to know your body, and you have to listen to your body.
What are some risks and what can women do to prevent heart disease?
So, I've learned through my open heart surgery and just this journey that cardiovascular disease, it continues to be a woman's greatest health threat. It claims the lives of 1 in 3 women. And it takes the life of 1 woman every 80 seconds. So it's so important to understand the disease and how to take charge of your heart health. There are some things that you can control, and then there are some things that are just hereditary and that are out of your control. So I like to encourage all women to take action and to be aware of those things that cause heart disease. So it's things like being aware and knowing your numbers. And when I say know your numbers, I'm talking about things like your cholesterol, knowing your good cholesterol, understanding your blood pressure, understanding the impact of your blood sugar and your body mass index. Not only that, but also living well. Just small changes in things like your diet, your lifestyle, it can lower your risk of heart disease by about 80%. I think those are some of the statistics. I recall when I was being discharged from the hospital, one of the last things that my cardiologist encouraged me to do was to walk every day. So it's those little changes, it's moving more, it's eating smart, and then just managing those things like high blood pressure, like cholesterol that have an impact and that impact your risk for heart disease.
What are some symptoms women need to be aware of?
So sometimes the symptoms for men are different than women. A lot of times people think that if they're having a heart attack, it's just chest pain. But the reality of it is it may not be that, and they could be very different. You might have nausea, you might have vomiting. You may have back pain. You might have chest pain. I think one of the biggest things is really knowing the symptoms and not ignoring them. One of the biggest symptoms for women is just being tired. And I think because we are a lot of times, the nucleus of our families, that we could have some of these symptoms. We could have shortness of breath. We could have jaw pain or back pain, which are real symptoms of a heart attack, and in some cases a stroke, and we ignore them. I always encourage women to advocate for yourself, advocate for your health. Do not ignore the signs and do not ignore the symptoms. At the end of the day, I feel like we have to be our best advocates. We have to put ourselves in the center of what we do for our health. And if we're not comfortable doing that, we have to find someone to kind of help us do that. I am big on having what I call a peer navigator or a peer advocate. If I don't feel like at an appointment, for example, that I can advocate for myself. I think it's the best thing that we can do to reclaim our rhythm.
Thank you for sharing your inspiring story and providing vital information on how women can reduce their risk of heart disease. Today, what I want to discuss is 5 numbers you need to know to keep your heart healthy. While there are ideal numbers, yours may be different based on your age and other health conditions. If you have any concerns with your numbers, please contact your primary care provider. 1. Blood pressure. Less than 120/80 is ideal. Your blood pressure reflects how hard your heart is working when resting or exercise and the condition of your blood vessels. High blood pressure increases damage to blood vessels, encouraging a buildup of fatty plaque and causing an increased risk of heart attack. Eat foods rich in potassium found in many vegetables, fruits, beans, and low sodium diet. 2. Cholesterol. Total cholesterol is made up of low-density lipoproteins, LDL, high-density lipoproteins, HDL, and triglycerides. Total cholesterol is recommended to have less than 200, HDLs higher than 60, LDLs less than 100, and triglycerides less than 149. Ways we can improve our cholesterol is by staying active, eating more fiber. Things we can do is to replace white bread and pasta with whole grains, and eat healthy fats. Healthy fats include olive oil, avocado, and certain nuts. Having our blood sugar less than 100 is ideal. High blood sugar can lead to type 2 diabetes, which can damage the blood vessels and cause increased risk of heart attack or stroke. Avoid sugary beverages and foods and eat whole and processed grains. 4. Waist circumference. Whichever measurement is lower. Less than half your height in inches, or women less than 35 inches, or men less than 40 inches. 5. BMI. Body mass index measures your weight relative to your height. The more weight we carry, the more stress it puts on our heart, regardless if the weight is good or a bad weight. A BMI of 18 to 25 is considered a normal heart-healthy weight. A big thank you to the American Heart Association and Claudia Norman for joining me today. Check out the Go Red for Women luncheon event at the Connecticut Convention Center in March, and tune in next time to learn more about National Nutrition Month.